Welcome everybody back in the video. Today we're going to be showcasing arena defenses you should be running currently. Now I'm saying this as a PSA. While yes, the defenses I'm going to be showing you are, I pretty much uploaded almost every single defense, how to beat currently right now. Every defense is beatable. Yes. But I do think some defenses are stronger than others because there are gimmicks to said defense, right? And you either have to focus how to beat down turn 2 players or how to focus to beat cleavers. It's one way or the other, right? That's usually how I look at how to really gauge a defense. And I do look at how long it takes to beat a defense compared to some other defenses, right? So, because, normally, you want people to waste their time on you, right? That's usually just how it goes. Compared to just, 1 second cleave, boom, you're done. Or, you could try to bait some cleavers and they may lose, but they may win. It's RNG at that point, right? So that's why I'm going to be talking about some defenses, while some are common, some are, not. So let's get into it, right? Again, that was a quick PSA. I got to say that off the bat because, again, yes, I know some of the defenses are popular, but trust me, there are a lot of ways to pretty much cheese people, and that can really, get you some wins. That's important, right? Wins. Now let's go look at the teams. Now, of course, I have to go over here to actual teams instead of me clicking on arena because it's a little bit different now, right? So let's go here starting with team number 1. Should be this one. It is this one. Now, Heartseti, BBK, Lady of Scales, and Setsuka. Setsuka coming out is a very, very OP unit. I think she's very, very good when it comes to defense just because she offers a layer of RNG. Now, in terms of a unit, it's pretty easy to counter her. Lionheart Surmia, Elvira, there's a lot of good stuff right now currently. I will be making another video talking about that later on. But, again, we are talking about the layer of RNG. When it comes to arena defense, I like consistency. People ask me why I do run some certain cleaves and all that in my videos. Like, oh, you could just run BBK instead of Selene. Well, the thing is, if you take that BBK into Hua Young, right, bystander Hua Young, there is a chance you do lose. Now, it's not 100% chance you do, lose all the time, but there's a percentage of her just countering every single hit, and you lose off of that. I like consistency. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that, likes arena like that. I prefer to have consistent hits no matter what. So there are certain ways why I do upload certain cleaves and all that, right? But this Setsuka existing always causes it for RNG. Now let's look at the team real quick. Now we have good old BBK. Now BBK, in my opinion, now I would really recommend a counter build. I can show you a counter build, but I don't really like my counter build, so I don't really want to show it, but I do recommend counter. If you can do Destro ER, that would be the best way to go about it. In terms of Destro ER, I think I have to steal my Charon gear, and I really don't want to do that for it to really work. I'm pretty sure, let me see. I'm pretty sure something like this, but a little bit more ER. And obviously on Torrent. But yeah, the gist of it, you really want ER on this character. ER, Destro, counter, best way to go about it. If you could do ER, that's really, really huge, by the way. I would recommend ER if you could, right? And counter build. Now, there's quite a bit of things you could do here. You could do counter, or you could also run, where is this artifact at? Double-edged Crescent. Now again, this artifact increases evasion by 20%, and when successfully evading, has a 30% chance to counterattack. You run this with Setsuka, right? There is already a 50% RNG that they are going to hit you. This is very, very good until the brand new sets come out, which obviously, when they come out, they're literally like a better double-edged crescent. It's a 70% chance to counter. I would think it stacks, so I don't know if it's is it technically 90%? Wait, is it technically 100% chance to counter? I'm pretty sure it doesn't stack like that. Can someone quote me on that? I'm pretty sure that 70% from that set plus this 30% is not going to be 100% chance to counter. It just has its own counter measures, right? All right, I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it works. But I do recommend double the Crescent in the meantime. All right, it is going to be kind of annoying if she does counter. If she does counter, it can cause some problems with some certain cleaves, especially with what I'm going to be uploading later on today or tomorrow. Trust me, I really recommend it. It's kind of I've lost quite a bit of ways like this, and it's kind of annoying. Again, you kind of want to either focus cleavers, or you want to focus turn 2 players. This is more than, trying to bait some cleavers out, right? Especially with the boss selector around the corner. So BBK, is going to be highlight of this. Lady of the Scales, you do want her on a typical, I have mine on prot set and immunity with Touch of Echoes. Not that bad, and it's just pretty basic prot set with ER. Nothing too special about it, but again, you do need Lady of the Scales for this. Setsuka, now Setsuka, honestly, I would recommend triple HP on the right side. Wait, is it the right side? Yeah, the right side. So, main reason why I do recommend higher HP, like a lot of HP, is because, well, I've lost quite a bit of ways with this, especially since I upload my hits, right? There are a lot of ways you can cheese people after I upload my hits, because obviously people look at that, and more than likely people do use my offenses quite a bit. So after I upload, you can pretty much change your defense to go ahead and cheese people, which people did already, right? There are like 32k Setsukas running around, basically to stop Elvira. I would recommend that. That is also a very, very good idea to follow. Most HP you can get on Setsuka, but of course trying to keep some damage on her, right? But again, I can't do that. I can maybe get like 30k. I don't know how people have like 30 something k. I'm assuming they're like Destro at that point, but I do like counter for a reason, which I'm going to be talking about now. Now, I do recommend running counter, because if there is somehow people take Luna in there and they hit you and they still miss because of the artifact, you need this artifact on her, you still have 20% evasion. And they hit you, you can still go ahead and counter, which in my opinion is still very, very good, and you maybe potentially could kill. So I do recommend counter set. While counter is more for Guild War and RTA purposes, I still think it's very, very good when it comes to Arena, because one counter can pretty much ruin the entire cleave, depending on what they do bring. Now, on to the last unit, which is going to be good old girl Heartsetti, which Heartsetti, in my opinion, that is the wrong Heartsetti. Let me throw in the right one. Boom. Heartsetti over here, I would recommend full-on effectiveness with Abyssal Crown. A lot of cleaves and a lot of turn 2 teams that are people currently running right now don't really have ARAM. Again, you may use ARAM offense, but not everyone has ARAM, right? Keep that in mind. Trust me. I already see the comments coming my way. Oh, you could just ARAM this, yada, yada, yada. Trust me, not everybody has ARAM, right? That's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I do recommend a high effectiveness build you could do on Heartsetti with Abyssal Crown. It will literally stop anybody without ARAM, and it could cause some problems down the road. Again, like I did say, I'm speaking this for everybody. Not everyone has the same offenses that we do, right? That's just how it is. So I do think it's still very, very good to run this type of builds, right? But that's going to be team number 1. Team number 2 is basically the exact same thing, but with Yulha in the front. Yulha, in my opinion, is kind of disgusting. That EE change she got is disgusting. So I'm going to be talking about Yulha here, because honestly, the other 3 builds are going to be the exact same thing here. High effectiveness, as much HP you can get on Setsuka. Again, anything over 30k ideal, because again, I made a video recently about Elvira. I had mine like at 31k, 30k with the artifact and all that. So everything here is the exact same thing. But Yulha, the difference is Yulha is here. Now Yulha, in my opinion, either of the EEs are broken. Either one is broken. Right? So I do like the reset one, but I do like the reflect damage 20% more as well. Both of them are broken. Because if this Yulha, let's say, they already procced, right? Again, Heartsetti is on the field. So RNG is all wonky already. And if there is a tuning where the Setsuka is able to strip the immortality off the Elvira, and you already procced the Lady of the Scales offering immortality, this Yulha can kill Elvira. And if she can kill Elvira, the game is wide open for you to lose. Trust me. It's very, very good, and it's very disgusting. Especially if she has this S3 reset. EE, she kills Elvira, and that's it. The cycle is rolling. I feel like if this Yulha could get 1 kill, it's over. It's disgusting. I've lost more times often than not from the reset skill cooldown than I did to reflect damage. Because this reset, if she gets 1 off, and you haven't procced the immortality, you're already losing another unit. Because if you proc the other immortality, the only immortality, right? If you proc it, and she already killed somebody, she's killing somebody else. And that's GG. Alright? So, it's a really good comp. I really like Yulha a lot. She's very, very good. A fantastic RGB tank. I really recommend building her, especially for arena defense, because again, not many people, not everyone has the exact same offense. But, now let's talk about the next team. Third team. Now again, like I did say earlier, some of the defenses look easier than the previous ones. But again, not everyone has the exact same offense. So let's get into it. Now, Light Tenebria, Witch of the Mirror Tenebria, and Lady of the Scales, Setsuka, and Bystander Hwa-Young. Now, Lady of Scales this time is going to be on a fast build, 304 speed with Soul Constellation. Now, honestly, Eternus is fine if you do not have Soul Constellation max, if you are mainly looking for the push. Now, again, this can really stop Luna Cleavers quite a bit. You really kind of need her over 300 in my opinion on the Soul Constellation or Eternus to pretty much cut a Luna Cleaver, unless they do not have it tuned perfectly, right? That's the only way I can see you beat Luna Cleavers. Obviously, I use Luna a lot, and sometimes they're close, but sometimes they are beating me, right? Because they are a really, really fast Lady of Scales, which means I had to increase my Frida speed, which is why she is much, much quicker now than she was before. So, it definitely works. Because again, like I said earlier, you're either trying to bait out the turn 2s or the cleavers. Or you can try to bait both. Alright, that's the best way to go about it. I think that's usually how the best way to really make a good defense, right? So Lady of Scales' only job is to sit here and just basically be fast and potentially cut the Luna and Frida combination, right? Because again, she does gain CR off of the push on Soul Constellation, right? So keep that in mind. Now, sometimes if there is like a Fiolitica shenanigans going on, because if there's a Rowana and Cdom or some weird stuff, you can technically almost cut because she gets the CR push before Fiolitica applies the combat readiness push stop, restrict, right? So she gains it first. Lady of Scales goes first, right? She gains the CR first before the restrict is applied. So keep that in mind. Very, very note to know, right? And then now, Witch of the Mare, which is going to be slower than Lady of Scales, but you do want her on quite a high effectiveness build, but still very, very fast. I do have her on Lab Cube. Honestly, Abyssal Crown's fine. Abyssal, what's that artifact called that reduces the soul turn cooldown? But I got Chance. I always forget what it's called. Etika Scepter. I think it's pretty good as well. Because when you see this defense, this screams a Lionheart Sermia. Alright, this screams Lionheart Sermia, but just you wait till we get to Bystander Hwa-Young. But yeah, Witch of the Mare Tenebria, job, she's disgusting, right? Block is OP. You really want to bring units that have their own self-cleanse. So it screams Lionheart Sermia, and then S2, the Rupture being broken as well. And then yes, one have a guaranteed dual attack. So overall, she's pretty busted, right? But now this is a good Bystander Hwa-Young. So currently, the Bystander Hwa-Young I'm currently running is going to be a Omega DPS Hwa-Young. Now, if you could do this stats on counter, hey, all props to you, but I can't do that on counter, so therefore I'm showing a Destro. This right here will do 24,184 damage. Actually, no. This right here will do 17,208 damage to a Lionheart Sermia with defense buff. This is very, very good damage and could potentially one-shot the Lionheart Sermia. Potentially, because again, some Sermias are not tanky like this. Alright, so if you are able to snipe away the Lionheart Sermia, well, guess what? You have a chance to win a fight just like that because Lionheart Sermia is gone. This is why I do like a full damage Bystander Hwa-Young. These are very, very popular when it comes into Guild War defenses as well, especially higher up in Guild War. Some of these Hwa-Youngs are literally just straight nukes to get rid of one unit. And honestly, it does work. It really, really works. It is kind of disgusting how much damage she can actually do to a light unit that has defense buff and everything else. But overall, this is very, very good. I really like the nuke Bystander Hwa-Young more than I just like a full tanky one in my opinion. And then lastly, Setsuka, still same build, still the same good old thing. I still would run like 30k HP, if anything, any more if you can do that. Basically to stop any Elveras if people try to bring that into you as well. But again, the main carry is literally going to be Bystander Hwa-Young. Again, she is kind of squishy, so I still recommend counter, but I can't do this on counter. I'm not really a Banshee farmer like that back in the days until Rift came out. I still very even touch counters at all, but I do like this build quite a bit. Now let's talk about the next defense. And then lastly, the final team I'm going to be showing or recommending is going to be the Harsetti, Bystander Hwa-Young, Lady of Scales, and Setsuka. This Harsetti is the exact same one and same thing with Lady of Scales. It's going to be a prop build, Lady of Scales, a full-on effectiveness, Harsetti, and then Setsuka, I do recommend 30k. A full DPS, Hwa-Young, like I just showed, because if it snipes the Lionheart Sermia, you can pretty much win off of that. On top of being Setsuka having more HP than the Elvera. So very, very good. Again, RNG wins over here. That's all we got to go for at this point, right? But overall, Very, very good defense. I would really recommend. Don't really see many of these, surprisingly. But again, not many people run a full-on nuke by Center Hua Young, so that's probably why. But overall, pretty straightforward comp. Now, later skills is in the front for a specific reason, because honestly, you do not want her steady in the front. You can't put by Center Hua Young in the front. And Setsuka, obviously, she's a win con here, and Lady Scales is probably the only one, least expendable compared to everyone else. So, you have to put Lady Scales in the front, which honestly, it's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It really doesn't matter. She's still going to be up there, still going to have immortality, so it's still good overall. But that's pretty much going to be it in terms of defense teams I do really recommend. Again, things may be changing when Genesis Wrath comes out, but we're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, we do have collaboration and all that other good stuff coming alongside that as well. But again, we'll talk about that when that time comes. But other than that, though, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a good day, and I will see you guys later on. Peace out.